Well, at the moment, it's extremely busy. I think every single law firm there is extremely busy. It's picking up. There's a lot of FDI coming into the market. We're seeing investment in a whole number of areas, not just on one particular area. So we're talking about infrastructure, we're talking about project work, M&A, IPO capital and debt equity markets. So it's a mix across the board. So everyone's busy. I think every single law firm is recruiting. Certainly recruiting from each other, so it does create an interesting position, and we're almost back to pre-2008 levels. So from that perspective, I'd say extremely busy.
The market is definitely pretty saturated in terms of capacity, although in terms of top talent, the heat is definitely on. The US firms have entered into a new phase of growth and hiring to go with it. So that segment of the market is very, very hot, although overall, let's say, the capacity. In terms of workflow, I think the interesting thing at the moment is that we have both all the work that we had during the downturn years, the restructuring, the litigation, investigations, so forth, but also some of the more boom time work, so the IPOs, to some extent the M&A, and that's a purple patch, if you wish, for the industry at the moment. So there's a good amount of work going on. There's a lot of price competition. People are looking for value, so one needs to maintain in that kind of market a lot of discipline.
Of course, these haven't been easy years, the ones which are behind us, but with stability, with the recovery clearly happening in part of the Eurozone, we believe, we see good signals. We believe that it is Italy is slowly on its way to recovery, and we all hope this will be driven by more stability, reforms, and the signals of growth we're seeing hopefully will be consolidating over the next years.
The market is very interesting at the moment, I'd say, after the end of the conflict. Doubtless you're aware we suffered for 30 years as a country, as an economy. There are tremendous opportunities now, I would say, particularly in the light of a lot of infrastructure development, a booming tourism industry, and I would say a very interesting government-driven policy for development. The Mahinda Chintana of the current president of Sri Lanka, it lays focus on Sri Lanka becoming a hub in various areas, knowledge, education, transport, energy, and so there are many opportunities. On the other hand, there are challenges. I think the key going forward for the market to develop and the economy to develop, which then of course will result in law firms benefiting with that growth, is that there has to be certain policy continuity and stability. And there have been some worrying developments, I would say, in the recent past, particularly in regard to a lack of clarity on foreign ownership or acquisition of ownership of land. So those are the challenges. I think the country is on the right path. But there are some issues that need to be addressed.
The legal market is getting more competitive, John, and the reason for that is very simple, because Bulgaria has been going through difficult times, economically wise, in the last couple of years, and politically wise as well. There have been a lot of protests, and this is not really appealing to international business. So foreign investment has been reduced dramatically, and the legal market reflects that, because all of us, the lawyers, we are fighting for the same junky pieces of the meal. So it's getting more competitive. That's the bottom line.
Very active legal market. It's sort of split between sort of a mid-cycle, downturn cycle, distress market, very active transactionally. And then on the other side, we have an export-driven economy where we have a lot of foreign direct investment in Ireland, good sectors, biotech, life science. We have a strong financial services centre focused on back office, custodian support, etc. And so we have a combination of those two.
Well, then the legal market is, as a service provider, always actually responding to the real economy in China, and there has been some slowing down in reaction to the global economy. But then our firm has actually continuously been growing.
We got an office in Ukraine, and we opened that end of last year actually, and of course then with the turn of events since that it's been a challenge, of course, but I must say that I am deeply impressed with our Ukraine team they have managed to actually run the business despite enormous challenges and despite all of this, there is actually a business that works, and even if it is more complicated and more challenging, they are still running a law firm under these very challenging circumstances.
We are in a huge inflation. February was 4% according to the government, according to some private estimates 6%, the month of February. Right. So we are in a verge of having a deep problem there. So we have inflation, and the current problem is that there's a lack of investment in the economy. So, but the economy is highly regulated, and we believe that within the next few months the situation may improve. Why I will say that the situation may improve? I mean, not pure voluntarism. I believe it will improve because the government will change next year, and all the possible candidates are market oriented. And Argentina is really a land of opportunities. We have like everything, and I believe the price of the goods there is quite cheap right now.